Hey guys, welcome back to NWCS, and in this video I'm going to show you how I make a hinge template. I already have one made by Roby that actually mounts to the side of your door itself and actually allows you to route out the pattern for your hinges. I'm going to use this exact same jig to route out all the hinges on my door, but on the door jamb itself I actually need a specialized template, one that doesn't clamp onto the door but actually rests right up against the door stop, so that way I can set my router in and then route out the template. So to do so, what I decided to do is actually use the initial router jig, cut out a section of, route in probably about 1/4 inch deep inside of some material. And once I have the initial template size or shape already laid out, what I'm going to do is take that over to the bandsaw and remove the bulk of the material and come back with a flush trim bit, and that will give me the actual pretty much template onto a piece of wood versus it having to clamp onto the side of the door. And what that's going to do for me is that after I flush trim it and get all that dialed in, that's going to allow me to make another template that actually has the slight offset that I need. Because again, with this one, it clamps on the door and it gives you the actual proper offset from the edge of the door. But in this case, I'm routing something inside of a door jamb and I also want to have the proper offset from the door stop. So what I'm going to do is use the template that I'm making now to actually make a proper template that has the built-in offset that I'm looking for to have it off of the hinges. If that doesn't make sense, you guys just watch this process. It's really, I thought it was pretty smart how I did pull it off. If you guys like it, definitely let me know down in the comments. If you guys have any questions, also let me know down in the comments. So first I took it over to the router table, then I can just flush trim it, but I actually realized I need to remove the bulk of the waste to give my bearing a flat spot to actually ride up against. So by removing all the material in the middle, then I can come back with the flush trim bit, having the bearing to ride that top portion of the material, and that'll give me the exact copy of the template that is on my jig. So then when I route things on my door and route the ones on my actual door jamb, they come out identical. But again, first step is to remove bulk of the waste and head over to the router table. And now that we're back at the router table, I'm able to use a flush trim bit with the bearing down at the bottom and actually hog out the rest of the waste and get this template to be exactly what I need it to be. And now that it's dialed in, the next thing I need to do is actually change out my bit so I can actually follow the bearing or follow the groove on the top so I can get a more accurate template. Because that one actually has bearing at the bottom. I want to follow the pattern on the top because that's where I actually initially routed from with the router. But now that I have my initial template made, this one is the exact same size as the actual router jig itself. But now I know that I actually want my hinges to be off of the door jamb just slightly, because that's actually going to allow my doorstop material or my weather stripping to actually fit in there and keep the door from binding. So if I went with this initial, maybe 16th or 8th inch reveal that it typically has for a door, on the door jamb it wouldn't work. The spacing of the hinges off of the door needs to be a little bit more than that. So now that I have that drawn out over here on my scrap piece, the next thing I need to do is actually use the bandsaw to remove the bulk yet again. And again, this is the exact same as the initial hinge template. Only thing is that it has a different offset, so it's moved slightly forward to make sure when I rest it up against the door jamb, I'm getting the exact reveals that I need to keep my hinges from binding. But now that I have all that dialed in, the next thing I need to do is go ahead and double stick tape everything together, make sure that they're both perfectly aligned, and then set up my bearing so I can do this final pass. And this process actually gives me a perfect hinge template that I can use up against the door jamb or any type of stock material. And it works out really awesome. You guys will see that in the next video. But if you guys have enjoyed this process, let me know down in the comments. Leave me a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.